Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology. Today's topic is Big War Ahead. Mars or Mangal is simultaneously aspecting Saturn, Pluto and Sun, and this starts happening on October 20th, 2024, when Mars will enter into the sign of Cancer, its debilitation sign. And on November 4th, we see some special combinations. So in this video, I will explain those special combinations and why we are seeing a very big war ahead due to this transit of Mars. Now, this is the planetary position on November 4th, 2024, and you can see that Mars is in its debilitation sign of Cancer or Kark. Sun is also in its debilitation sign of Libra. Now, Mars is aspecting Sun. Mars is also aspecting Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. Both Mars and Pluto are at 5 degrees. Saturn and Sun are at 18 degrees. Mars is also aspecting Saturn. Mars is forming a Shadashtak with Saturn. Jupiter is forming a Shadashtak with Sun. So you can see multiple such combinations. Now let us understand each combination. Now last year when Mars and Ketu were together in the sign of Libra, that is when Hamas attacked Israel. Right now Mars is aspecting Sun in the sign of Libra. Mars is the commander, Sun is the government, both are weak right now. And when the commander and the government becomes weak, the opposition or the people become stronger. You can see Saturn is very powerful. But even Saturn receives the 8th aspect of Mars. So Saturn and Mars are forming a Shadashtak. And this indicates a big warlike situation coming across Europe and also in the Middle East. Now, why I am saying Europe region here? See, Pluto is in Capricorn, Saturn is in Aquarius, and that region of Capricorn and Aquarius represents the Western countries. Whereas the sign of Cancer and Leo, those represent the eastern portions. So Mars aspecting Sun in Libra is bound to activate the Israel Middle East axis, and therefore the current war that has started, that will aggravate in a big way now, and even Europe will get involved in this war. Now if you see around November 4th, Mars and Pluto are at the same degree. They are at 5 degrees. Pluto is in Capricorn, Mars is in Cancer. Now what is Pluto? Pluto is death, destruction, rebirth, transformation, and Mars is aggression and anger. So here you can see protests by people across the Western nations. So the European countries are going to see massive protest by people in this time, and the Mars-Pluto conjunction, or rather the Mars-Pluto mutual aspect at the same degree, can trigger a big war. Similarly, Mars is aspecting Saturn. Mars is in a Shadashtak with Saturn. And if you see the degrees of Saturn and Sun, they are also the same. Saturn is at 18 degrees, Sun is at 18 degrees. So these combinations are going to trigger a very big war. You can see Mars is debilitated in the eastern region, that is the Middle East region. The army becomes very weak, it is not very strong. Similarly, in Libra, the Sun is weak, which means the government also cannot take decisive action at this time. Mars aspects Sun, indirectly indicating the government will be somewhat controlled by the army. And coincidentally, if you see, November 5th 2024 is the time of US election. So I see some big disturbance happening in the western countries in this time due to this Mars Pluto mutual aspect at the same degree. Mars Saturn Shadashtak, Mars also aspecting Saturn, Mars aspecting Sun, and Mars aspecting Pluto simultaneously. So Mars is aspecting three planets, Saturn, Pluto, and Sun simultaneously, and this definitely indicates a very big warlike situation coming up, which will impact the Western countries in a big way. You can think of this as some kind of attack coming from Middle East even on the Western countries. So while this Israel Lebanon or Israel Hezbollah, Israel Houthi war that goes on escalating, even the European region will be impacted because of this special combination of a debilitated Mars putting its 8th aspect on Saturn and simultaneously aspecting Saturn, Pluto, and Sun. Mars and Pluto being at the same degrees in opposition signs of Cancer and Capricorn, and Saturn and Sun being at the same degrees, that is 18 degrees, in Aquarius and Libra respectively. So friends, expect a huge disturbance in the European countries in the coming time. Now Mars enters Cancer on October 20th, 2024, but I see this combination becoming stronger towards November 4th, 2024, and this can be a starting point when a very big war will trigger. Although the current Israel Hezbollah war is going on right now, this could trigger the entry of Iran or some kind of attack from the Middle East on the European regions or the European countries. So this is a very challenging time, and I see a big war ahead which will impact the Middle East as well as the European regions. So you need to be safe in this time, take care of your families. So the planetary combinations indicate this, and therefore on a very short notice I have made this video today. See, Mars is the planet of war even if it is weak, and if it simultaneously aspects Saturn, Pluto, and Sun, then definitely it indicates a big warlike situation coming up. Now this combination shows me that some country, maybe Iran also, in the Middle East is likely to attack Israel and the European countries. And this is going to be a very challenging time for Middle East, USA, European countries, as well as Israel. So the impact on the European countries is very huge in this time period. The Middle East region is also heavily activated, as we can see, and this shows the prospects of a very big war ahead. Unfortunately, this coincides with the time of US elections also, that is November 4th, November 5th time frame, when such events can trigger. So even terrorist attacks can happen in US. And the Mars Pluto aspect at the same degree indicates a very destructive event happening due to the Russia-Ukraine war also. Now in this time even the moon is debilitated in Scorpio, but luckily it receives the aspect of Jupiter. Pluto also receives the aspect of Jupiter, and that can be a saving grace to a large extent. But even then, Mars simultaneously aspecting Saturn, Pluto, and Sun does show the prospects of a very big war coming ahead and impacting Middle East, Europe, and USA. Now Mars forming a Shadashtak with Saturn and Mars aspecting Saturn can show a civil war happening in the United States after the US elections. So that is also going to be a very big challenging situation in times ahead in the United States of America. So friends, this is just a warning video. If you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. For any queries, write to us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com. You can also reach us through our website astroseva.tripod.com. So friends, thanks a lot. Bye. Take care and stay safe.